Hola. Pues nada, ¿qué tal todo? ¿Qué tal todos? Vamos una vez más a jugar a Honkai, aunque en esta ocasión no está Cora, está de vacaciones. Así que me toca a mí estar solito. Que tampoco pasa nada. A ver si podemos terminar o empezar la historia de la actualización. Si carga esto. Nuevamente me parece que esté muy dispuesto a cargar adecuadamente. Pero bueno, ya nos daba problemas al cargar antes. No sé si es porque el ordenador no quiere. Ah, no, un poquito caliente, ¿no? Mientras no se me vaya la luz, todo correcto. Y estaba haciendo esto. Subí a... a, a, a la pequeña... Ah, me tocó... Me tocó Julie en el permanente y también me tocó Clara en el normal. En el permanente usual y el otro en el banner. En fin, tenemos a Clara. La estaba ascendiendo en un par de cosas que da de este bicho y ya está. Anuncios, ¿qué tenemos de anuncios? Optimización de versión. Bueno, pues nada, vamos a lo que nos interesa. ¿Dónde están las misiones? Aquí. A esto. Lo estamos siguiendo. Vamos a seguir. Vamos. De una. Y sin frenos. Hacia abajo y sin frenos. Hmm. Tiene un mensaje estelar. Revíselo en cuanto pueda. Mensaje interestelar. Bueno. Investiga. Tiene un mensaje interestelar. Revíselo en cuanto pueda. Hmm.
Phew.
¿Eh? ¿Eh?
What's that, Pom-Pom?
Solo. Y aquí no tengo que poner
Just
voces.
got a message from the Xianzhou La Fu. Looks like it'll conflict with our original schedule.
It's been a while, my friends on the Astral Express. How's your trailblazing expedition going? Soon, the Xianzhou Luofu will be holding the Luminary War Dance. Those who have aided the Luofu in overcoming the crisis are cherished allies of the Xianzhou. Thus, on behalf of the Seat of Divine Foresight, I'm extending an invitation to attend the ceremony. Your presence would be greatly appreciated.
Well, things are getting lively. We've barely recovered from the family's Charmony Festival, and we're already being invited to another special event.
Todavía no me recuperé del trauma que me causó la última celebración. La expedición trata que se trata de divertirse. Vamos por
Why
ello.
not think about it this way? Our trailblazing expeditions are turning into blast expeditions, where we eat, drink, and play wherever we go. Blast? Expedition? Yeah! Wherever we go, we eat, play, and have a blast!
So we should leave March behind to take care of the Express?
Hey! That's not what I meant! I'm all for some fun. I just hope there won't be any surprise party crashers, like Friday or Saturday.
The Xianzhou
Lady
Law
for
Fu
Sunday.
has recently overcome a crisis by holding
Qué
the
malo.
war
Hola,
dance
Katy.
there, demonstrating to everyone that they've returned to a state of peace and safety.
But that's what everyone said before we went to Penacony. You'll be totally safe under the family's protection.
No need to worry. The War Dance is not like the Charmony Festival with all its hidden secrets. It's just a festival to honor the Rainbow Arbiter and the Cloud Knights, who fought against the abominations of abundance and protected the Xianzhou ships. Aside from star skiff performances, it's mostly martial contests. Nothing too different from the Taiki and Roboball contest we've seen before.
What do you think, Himiko? Since we've accepted Miss Black Swan's proposal, we should probably head to Amphorius for refueling.
There's certainly no rush. This trailblazing expedition is quite unique, and the Express needs to be fully stocked and prepared before moving on to the next stop. With Madame Herta's help, I was planning to deliver some Leviathan fossils from Kalinga Abyss to Ron May, member 81 of the Genius Society. It could earn us some favors before we set off. However, it may take a few weeks.
Aw, so that means we're not going to the Lawfu.
Being an adult means maintaining relationships, whether we like it or not, Marge. Since we've been invited, it's only right for the Astral Express to attend the ceremony. So here's the plan. Pom Pom will take everyone to the Xianzhou Lawfu. Mr. Yang and I will meet up with Ron May and fulfill our promise. Meanwhile, you, Marge, and Don Hung will represent the Express and
Tiene
attend the war
sentido.
dance.
What do you two think?
Suena bien. Separémonos en grupos.
I don't hear any objections.
Now that everyone's on board with the plan, it's time to work to the Xianzhou Lawfu.
Venga, hasta el Lawfu de Sanzhou. No es un turno. Vamos a hablar. No puedo hablar con él. Vamos a hablar con nosotros. A ver. Rute el plan con 7 de marzo y Danje. Vale, entonces tengo que hablar con ellos. A ver. Que de verdad no me
Kalinga
dices.
Abyss. What does she expect to find there? Current research on the Leviathan merely proves how little we know about such life forms.
That's why geniuses are interested in that field. Science is all about uncovering the unknown.
La conversación entre ambos está repleta de una jerga incomprensible. De química antibiótica. No me ha dado ni tiempo a esto. Buen viaje en
Don't
verano.
miss us too much. If I stumble upon some cool Leviathan fossils, I'll bring a few back as
Los
souvenirs for
fósiles
you.
están guays. Aunque si es de un leviatán, no estará súper enorme. ¡Hala! Ahora con un... ¡Ay, Pompón! ¿Por qué estás triste? ¿Qué es lo que te preocupa? Tú le vas a asegurar que hayas tendrás que... salir de caza, ¿te imaginas? ¿Qué estás pensando? Ya no lo sepas, pero necesitamos varios materiales para asegurar el funcionamiento normal del espeso astral. Puede forjar una buena relación con la estación espacial, Himeko y hasta llegar a un tipo de acuerdo sobre algunos suministros básicos. Podemos pedirlos al departamento correspondiente, pero no pidas cosas demasiado caras ni difíciles de conseguir. Dije hasta que estabas aquí y ella ya informó a la persona a cargo del plan del departamento correspondiente. ¿Por qué no ayudas a completar este recado? No ahora.
Himeko really knows how to convince people. Between Leviathan fossils and the war dance, the latter definitely sounds more fun. By the way, Donhung, this time you'll be taking a stroll with us on the Lawfu, right?
Hombre, es que ya no le buscan, entonces.
And just let you two wander around aimlessly on the Lawfu by yourselves? I don't think so. Plus, Mr. Yang is right. The Ambrosial Arbor crisis just ended, and both the long life and short life species are still feeling uneasy. And that's why Jing Yuan wants to organize the war dance, to show that the Xianzhou Lawfu is stable and safe. And since he has extended an invitation, it's only right that I visit my old friend.
Aunque sea el viejo amigo de tu vida anterior, pero sí.
Coming back to this place brings back so many memories. You know?
Tengo algo para usted, es un poema de 7 de marzo. ¿Qué recuerdas? ¿Por qué no cuentas más detalle?
Well, it's nothing too poetic. I was just thinking about all the twists and turns we went through when we first arrived at the Xianzhou ship. This time, we're not being forced or enticed, or chasing after wanted criminals. And we didn't have to sneak in through the cargo dock. This trip has been incredibly smooth. Quite unusual, I must say.
Que somos fáciles de satisfacer, qué pena por nosotros.
Such is the fate of us nameless, I suppose.
Ciro vio el mensaje de la Comisión de Transportes del Este sobre el que el expreso terminó su viaje. Está en el UFO. Llegamos a la dársena de estos esquifes. En general me envía a recibiros a la dársena de estos esquifes. Nos vemos pronto. Vale. Venga, Yankee.
Is the Starskiff Haven always this crowded? Oh, there are so many people here. I can barely hear anything.
Yenqing said General Jingyuan sent him to welcome us, but where is he?
No sé dónde estará.
Let's wait.
Jorín.
Hey, you guys! Hold on a moment.
Ya no sabré nunca lo que quería decir
Did
Duncan.
they just call us? Look at their outfits. They're from Penacony, right? Are you familiar with the Xianzhou Lafu?
Un poquito.
We know a little bit about it. What do you need?
We're from Penacony. Maybe you've heard of it. We came to this ship to gather interesting materials for making dream bubbles.
Oh, we just left there. Oh, talk about coincidence.
That's great. Do you know any must-see attractions on the Luofu?
¿Por qué no les preguntaron a los
We
lugareños?
did, but the locals were all like, come on, there's nothing worth seeing on the Lafu. It's so boring here.
Ha! Can't blame them. If someone asked me what's there to see on Penacony, I'd probably struggle to answer too.
That's why we're asking fellow tourists. Most of the tourists around at the moment are here to attend the war dance. And that's why we're here too. Yeah, we know about that ceremony. But isn't the fighting ring still closed?
I've heard the ring was actually converted from a huge decommissioned Luofu fighter jet.
Entonces es más grande que un astroesquife.
No doubt about it. It's a massive fighter jet. It's got to be larger than a civilian star skiff.
But for now, all we can do is wait until the war dance starts in a few weeks before we can board it. We've still got work to do, so we can't just sit around waiting for it to start. That's why we're asking you about some must-see attractions.
We're looking for unique experiences that you won't find on Penacony. Our clients love these kinds of dream bubbles the most.
You're the expert here. Give them some suggestions.
¿Qué tal si van al Callejón Auro?
Good
Está muy
idea.
bueno.
The everyday vibe of the Aurum Alley is a rare find on the planet of festivities.
Everyday vibe. Yeah, our clients have had their fair share of adrenaline-pumping dreamscapes. Maybe something down to earth would touch their hearts.
Thanks for the suggestion. We'll head to the Aurum Alley to gather materials. Maybe we'll run into each other there in a couple of days.
Look, Yenqing's here.
Perfecto.
Really? Let's go catch up with him.
Hola. Con nuestro amigui.
There you are. Everyone, this way.
¿Pero me van a decir algo más o...? Empiezas a hablar cuando llegue,
Hey, everyone. It's been a while.
Y la verdad. ¿Dónde?
It doesn't feel like it's been that long since we last saw you. But, Yenqing, are you...
What's up, Miss March?
Un poquito más
They
alto.
say kids grow up really fast. Yenqing, are you a little bit taller than before?
We've only been away for a few months.
Sí, definitivamente estás más alto.
Really? The general is always worried I won't grow much taller, but I keep telling him not to worry about it. Sorry for the delay. With the upcoming war dance and the Starskiff Haven being so busy, things are a little hectic.
Agüita. Oh, has volvido.
Seriously, I've never seen the
¿Qué tal la
Lawfu
querida?
so lively before.
I was a bit worried that holding the war dance right after the Ambrosial Arbor crisis might be too soon. But seeing the bustling Starskiff Haven, I understand why General Jing Yuan chose this timing.
Yep. There's people from other delves and travelers like you three who've come from afar. With the war dance coming up, there's a huge number of visitors pouring into the Starskiff Haven. The Cloud Knights are working hard to keep the security tight. The General said this ceremony would help the Xianzhou Lafu recover from the crisis. It's a way to showcase our martial spirit, reassure people, boost morale, and attract visitors from other planets to promote trade and peace. By the way, the Xianzhou Alliance places great importance on this ceremony too. The Xianzhou ships, the Zhu Ming and the Yao Qing, have both sent messengers to offer their blessings.
Yo, ¿quién desea?
Yeah, the Xianzhou Yao Qing is a major force in hunting down abominations, and is always engaged in conflicts across the cosmos. Although it's a member of the Xianzhou Alliance, I don't know much about it. But Madame Yukong from the Skyfaring Commission mentioned that the Yao Qing always sends back reports of great victories, which is quite impressive. I heard General Fei Xiao of the Yao Qing is a young and dauntless lady. My peers say that she's like a goddess of war, capable of crushing dozens of abominations with a single punch. I wonder if it's true.
¿Y quieres pelearte contra ella?
If only I could witness her prowess with my own eyes.
By the way, Yanqing, where are we headed next?
I'm sorry for talking your ear off. The General wants to catch up with you at the Palace of Astrum. He's been eager to hear about how the Express has been doing.
Vamos a ver al general.
It's funny how he tries to act all mature, but whenever it comes to something he's interested in, you can really see his childish side.
A ver. Voy a decir lo mismo de ti.
I agree.
Uy, ¿qué está pasando? Pelea, pelea.
All units, assemble quickly. Get ready to protect the crowd.
Pelea, pelea.
I just mentioned security, and now all of a sudden something's gone wrong. Excuse me, I need to go check out the situation.
Uy. Está en mala suerte como Marco.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
We'll go with you.
Puesto que vamos con él. Ya le daremos una paliza, lo que sea que esté causando el alboroto. Y animación. ¿Qué son estas cosas?
Protect the civilians. I'll deal with him.
Protejan a los civiles, si me salgo. Venga. Ahí Toguachi. Hala. Toguachi ahí. Y se queda pillado. En el mejor momento. Enemigos con esta marca pueden entrar en el estado de locura lunar. Después de que un enemigo ataque, se aplica una acumulación de sed de sangre. El estado de locura lunar. Sed de sangre alcanza cierta cantidad de acumulaciones. Estado de locura lunar. No sé cuántas veces puedes repetir locura lunar en una frase. Cuando comienza el turno de la cuenta regresiva se dice el estado de locura lunar de todos los enemigos. Ok. No estoy curado del todo.
Why are
Qué
there
triste.
Morrison here? This ends now.
Bloom, you have my gratitude. Eternals.
The dead return!
Coño, que gana a todos, No me gusta que pegue.
Ill tidings, men.
Let's settle this.
I weep for the departed.
Ala,
It too shall fall.
acabado con su vida. Debería curarme. Porque he empezado con menos vida de la que debería. En algún punto supongo que habrá algo para curarse de camino.
Not good. Thanks for the help.
¿Te gusta la espadita?
No time to chat. Could you give me back my...
Se ha llevado su espada. Pero bueno. Qué mal educada.
Wait, my sword! I'm sorry, but I'm afraid we'll have to put our plans on hold for now. I need to find out what's going on.
Buena.
While we appreciate your rescue, my Xianzhou friends, don't you think it's a bit too much to detain us and our cargo?
Sorry, but we've been ordered to detain you and your cargo for inspection until we figure out the source of the attack. Once we're done with the formalities, we'll let you and your cargo go.
Oh, but this shipment isn't even meant for the Luofu. And it's IPC's patented technology. Who do you think you are to conduct an inspection?
O sea, la corporación que ya anda causando
According to
problemas.
the protocol, all cargo arriving on the Luofu must go through inspection.
Oh, but we didn't officially enter your dock at all. We just sought refuge in your dock because we were attacked by the Borisons.
Looks like this argument could go on forever. Let's not get involved in a heated dispute that won't lead to a resolution.
Pues nada, continuemos. A ver.
Who's in charge here? I need some answers.
It's my fault. We let our guard down for a moment. I take full responsibility.
With the war dance approaching, safety should be a top priority. Now, tell me, how did Borisin prisoners end up in Starskiff Haven? According to the protocol, Borisin prisoners should be held on a Starskiff and taken directly to the shackling prison under strict supervision without ever touching the ground. Who allowed a prisoner transport ship to dock at the passenger terminal?
Please don't blame this captain. This incident involves the Zhu Ming's diplomatic vessel.
Who are you?
I'm Liu Jun, an officer of the Patrol Defense Squad. Thank you for your help, Lieutenant Yanqing. The situation unfolded rapidly, and it shouldn't be held against the captain. Here's what happened. An IPC transport ship was attacked by the Borisin just before arriving, and the Zhu Ming's diplomatic vessel came to the rescue. They fought off the Borisin pirates and imprisoned them on their ship.
So, an IPC ship was attacked by the Borisin near the Luofu, and the Zhu Ming envoys saved them? This sounds complicated.
Honestly, it gives me a headache too. The Zhu Ming diplomatic ship, adhering to standard procedure, docked at the passenger terminal to hand these criminals over to the Luofu. You know, with all the outsiders flooding onto the Luofu, the Starskiff lanes are under immense pressure. The Borisin desperados decided to put up a fight before the prisoner transport Starskiff could get there. And that's what you just witnessed.
Okay, man.
We'll make sure these prisoners are sent to the shackling prison as soon as possible.
I see. It's an unusual situation indeed. I'll report it to the security department of the Realm Keeping Commission and ask for their cooperation in handling the aftermath. Maybe I should gather more details from others so that the Seat of Divine Foresight can have a better understanding of the situation.
Vamos a hablar. Caballeros calmaron luego se dispersaron y la calma volvió a la calma.
Oh, you look much maturer now, Yanqing.
Please don't tease me, Miss March. The situation on the Xianzhou before the war dance is like a calm lake that can be disturbed by even the smallest pebble, capable of generating far-reaching ripples with even the slightest disturbance.
What are those people? I mean, those monsters we just dealt with?
Son kobolds. Ah, son kobolds. Maravilla. Llamaste buenísimo.
Yeah, those werewolf monsters are known as Borison. They are abominations of abundance, and we've been fighting them for a very long time. The Borison have been a powerful force for a long time, plundering and enslaving many worlds. The threat they pose is just as terrible as the Swarm disaster, and the Alliance even had a fierce war with them 3 decades ago. Their presence has faded over the years, but who would have thought?
According to that officer, they attacked an IPC ship near the Shenzhou Luofu. Such a brazen attack seems quite unusual to me.
Yeah, that's what I find strange too. It seems like the IPC and the Borison have some serious grudges. Well, enough with the chit-chat. The General wants me to take you to the Palace of Astrum. I'd love to chit-chat a little longer, but there are some things that can't be left unchecked.
Is it a serious matter? Maybe you'll need our help in hunting down the Borison?
Thank you, but it's no big deal. By the way, that young lady who just appeared, she took my sword. I'm thinking of filing a lost property report at the Realm Keeping Commission to see if I can get it back.
I doubt she did it on purpose.
A ver. Vimos el informe, podría ser todo un espectáculo.
Don't remind me. I just zoned out for a moment, that's all. All right, let's not keep the General waiting.
Don't worry. There aren't many people out there with that kind of talent. It shouldn't be too hard to find her.
There sure are a lot of troublemakers around.
Uy. No me gusta cómo nos ha mirado.
Success and failure are predetermined.
Otra de puta. Astrum.
It's been a long journey, Elder Hwaya. Thank you for your presence.
Don't mention it. Thank you for taking the time to welcome me.
¿Van a decir algo más?
General, I brought our guests from the Express. Oh, I'm sorry for my bad timing. I didn't know you were meeting a guest, General.
Don't worry, you're just in time. It's been a while, my friends from the Astral Express.
Soñé contigo en canon y penal. Como de todo general, la verdad es que es verdad, soñamos con ellos en cara.
All is well when you have friends coming from afar. Allow me to introduce you to General Huayan. He's the Arbiter General of the Xianzhou Zhuming, known as the Flaming Heart.
No need to be so formal. I'm just a tourist here, no different from other tourists who've come to attend the ceremony.
Elder Huayan is not only one of the Arbiter Generals, but also the Furnace Master of the Artisanship Commission. Besides his martial skills, he excels in forging various weapons. Such talents are unique, even among the Arbiter Generals.
Be it Arbiter General or Furnace Master, these are merely titles given to me long ago. I've retired several times already, but with the current change in circumstances, the Marshal has called me back
Pobre
to
hombre,
duty.
no le dejan estar
I had no
en paz de la
choice but to
jubilación.
answer the call. Well, in the end, I'm to blame. Living such a long life naturally brings its share of disapproval.
It's an honor to meet you, General Huayan.
It's my honor to meet you, General Huayan.
Para reconocerlo, general.
No need to be all formal. Today I'm just a guest on the Lawfu, the same as all of you. So, these three are the ones you mentioned, Jingyuin? The heroes who helped you with the Ambrosial Arbor crisis?
Ah, mira quién está ahí de fondo.
Indeed. There's Don Hung, March 7th, and him. Without their help, I'm afraid the Lawfu might not have easily overcome this crisis.
So, the Imbibitor Lune's reincarnation has returned to the Lawfu and will attend the war dance. I'd love to have a drink with you should the chance present itself.
You're more than welcome, General Huayan.
And this young friend is?
Yanqing, my apprentice. He remains by my side as my retainer due to his youth, which I hope will season him with experience. He will stand for the Lawfu's Cloud Knights in the upcoming war dance, ready to take on all kinds of challenges.
Great, great! It's a real treat to see so many talented young people around here today. Oh, I almost forgot. This is my apprentice, Yoon Lee.
It's you!
Oh, it's you. Hello.
Oh,
Mi espada.
you two already know each other? Guess we don't need any introductions then.
What a coincidence! I was afraid I'd have trouble finding this girl.
Oh? Now you've piqued my curiosity. Tell me, how did you two become acquainted?
She helped me capture the escaped Borisin prisoners at the Starskiff Haven. Allow me to express my gratitude for you. But when you left, you took my flying sword with you.
Your flying sword? Oh, so that's why I found a dagger in my bag. Turns out it's yours.
Yes, it is. Now that we've met again, I hope...
Nope, that won't do.
¿Cómo que no?
Won't do?
You want your sword back, right? Well, you can't just take it back. On the Juming, when you lose your sword on the battlefield, you have to reclaim it on the battlefield. As for this little sword, it was supposed to strike that escaped Borisin prisoner. But unfortunately, its owner's agitated state caused it to fly off like a kite with a broken string, and it missed its target. By the way, if I hadn't caught it and helped it hit its mark, that Borisin prisoner would have gotten away.
Hold on a sec, Yoon Lee. You took my sword without even asking, and now you're refusing to give it back?
So much for Lawfu sword masters.
What did you just say?
If you just stepped up and took your sword back from me fair and square, I would have totally respected you. But nope, you tried to play it down, expecting me to just hand it back to you like it's nothing. In front of everyone. With all due respect, you don't honor your sword, so you don't deserve it.
Hasn't anyone told you that taking without asking is stealing? If you want to settle this with swords, fine. Let's have a one-on-one duel right now.
Yanqing.
Well, that's more like it. Just be careful, because I'm not as easy to handle as the Borisin.
You two, be quiet and apologize to Yanqing.
Hey! Whose side are you on, Grandpa?
Eso bueno.
I don't take sides.
It's a small misunderstanding, and an apology would be too much. I've heard about the Zhu Ming's incredible swordplay and craftsmanship, most notably the legendary Flame Wheel Octet. Seeing Miss Yun Li, who is among those ranks today, well, I must say she definitely has that fiery edge.
Such grandiose names. Some folks love to spin these fancy titles, trying to set the Cloud Knights apart. Yun Li is still just a young girl, a bit awkward and
Tiene un
hot-tempered.
moño que le sale por encima del sombrero.
She's being rude.
Maravilla.
Well, everyone, Elder Huayan and I have some business to discuss. For now, Yang Qing, why don't you entertain our guests and take Miss Yun Li to the inn? I'll find another chance to talk with you all. I'd like to express my gratitude to the Astral Express for helping the Law Fu during the crisis.
Pero discúlpate, pero no le ha dicho que le devuelva la espada.
I mean, you've already thanked us so many times.
Please forgive me for coming at an inconvenient time.
You needn't apologize, General Huayan.
All right, Yun Li. Take this opportunity to clear things up with Yanqing.
Yeah. It's better to make friends than enemies. But I won't be heading to the inn just yet. I want to visit Lingsha. She just arrived in the Luofu and could use some help settling in.
Yang Qing, once you've helped our guests get settled, go to the Artisanship Commission for me. I've heard about the attack and the detainment of the IPC ship. Qingzu sent word that the IPC members are protesting and wish to have their cargo back. See if you can calm them down. Don't get aggressive. Just make it clear that the Xianzhou Luofu has no intention of violating their rights.
I'm on it.
Nada.
This trip is totally worth it. Compared to the Zhuming, the Luofu is so much livelier. But it's a shame the Luofu swordmasters don't seem that great.
¿Qué es el octeto del disco llameante que mencionó General?
That's how outsiders refer to my peers in the Zhuming Cloud Knights and the Artisanship Commission. We all train under Grandpa's guidance, learning the art of craftsmanship and swordplay. That's how we got that title, I guess.
Entiendo.
Just don't mention it in front of Grandpa. He always says that empty titles bring pointless challenges and conflicts. We Zhuming swordmasters pride ourselves on the success of the group over the individual. Glad to meet you too. Are you here to participate in the war dance?
No realmente. Solo ir para asistir a la ceremonia como turista.
So, you're not a participant? You look like you know your way around a fight.
Sí, pero qué pereza.
Well, you can still sign up. The Cloud Knight's ring is always open to outsiders.
¿Estás con nosotros?
I have some things to do. Besides, little Yanqing doesn't seem too happy about me tagging along.
¿Pero tomaste su espada?
Yeah, you're right. I took it with my skills. So, I guess you can say I'm a robber or something. How dare he imply I'm a thief?
A ver.
Totally different.
La tomaste y ahora no quieres devolverla.
Of its own master. I'd like to ask him. You claim to cherish your sword as your life, yet you don't even recognize the state it's in right now? I didn't intend to keep his sword. I was planning to take this chance to return it to him. But now, I've changed my mind. I'll give that poor flying sword some proper maintenance. I won't consider returning the sword unless he learns how to say please, hello, thank you, and sorry.
Bueno.
So he can forget about it for now.
Madre, qué cabezota es. Y el otro, pues 3/4 de lo mismo, la verdad. La cabeza sin es que no me al pensar en los problemas inminentes. Tranquilo, se andará. Estás distraído, la joven se aleja de ti y ya no la encuentras. Qué desgracia más. Bueno, vamos.
This is the report Qingzu just sent me. Let me take a look. Huh. Looks like the General has given me a tough challenge. He wants me to try and help put the IPC's mind at ease.
¿Es una prueba del general?
Well, it's not exactly a test. As Cloud Knight officers, we not only learn the art of war and martial arts, but also occasionally have to handle diplomatic disputes. It's just, you know, talking things out isn't as straightforward as duking it out with weapons on the battlefield. This is especially true when you're up against the IPC, with their non-stop corporate babble. Well, let's not worry about that for now. Shall I take you to the inn?
Vamos. Después de ver a Yankee y a los demás marcharse.
It is the Law Fu's honor to have you in attendance at the war dance. Yet, the fact that a simple martial arts ceremony has attracted esteemed generals from the Zhu Ming and the Yao Qing implies intentions beyond mere spectating. Might there be any specific instructions from the Marshal?
You're overthinking it, Jingyuan. As I said, I'm here to broaden my granddaughter's horizons. I have no ulterior motives. However, I have no clue what the Yaoqing Arbiter General has in mind. Do you remember when you accepted this position? I told you that an Arbiter General's battlefield goes beyond the physical one. You'll need to lead and manage everything on the Xianzhou. The title of Arbiter General holds a weight far greater than its literal meaning. So many years have passed, and you've done well. However, longevity for the Xianzhou people can be a curse. Living too long means that every mistake you made will lurk in the shadows. And one day, they'll eventually catch up to you. The Marshal knows everything that has happened on the Lawfu. As for the Merlin's Claw of the Yaoqing, she has come specifically for you.
Uy. Qué mal suena eso.
Speaking of which, why hasn't she arrived yet? They say the Merlin's Claw strikes like lightning. Being late isn't her style.
That's not true, General Huayan. She's been here a while, but I'm sure you've heard of her unbridled nature.
As soon as she disembarked from the star skiff, she mentioned having something to attend to and simply disappeared.
Oui, señor.
You must be the messengers from the Xianzhou Yaoqing, I assume.
We are Jiaoqiu and Moza, retainers of the Merlin's Claw. It's an honor to meet you in person, Arbiter Generals.
Me gusta, no sé.
Now this is interesting. A guest who doesn't come to visit but sends a message instead. What does she mean? Tell me, what could be more important to her than coming here?
Master heard about a spectacular view in Scale Gorge Waterscape. I believe she went there to enjoy it.
A spectacular view? Ha! Did you hear that, Jingyuan? This person is being sarcastic.
Please do not misunderstand me, General Huayan. I was simply stating the truth. Master thought it would be inappropriate to keep you waiting, so she sent us here.
Madre mía.
Once she's finished with admiring the scenery, she'll personally come and apologize to the both of you.
¿Qué le pasa a esa señora? Fascinante, ¿verdad? Mientras tanto, las paredes del parque de Astro.
Drat, I forgot to ask Yun Li to return my sword.
No creo que pueda recuperar tu espada.
Unacceptable. Every sword is precious to me. If it weren't for the General's interference, I would have taught that shameless girl a lesson in swordplay. By the way, I don't know if it's just me, but the General seemed a little reserved. Could it be because of Elder Hyen's visit?
Puede ser.
Reserved? Really?
Maybe I'm just overthinking things.
No, you're not. When I entered the Palace of Astrum, I realized that the messenger from the Xianzhou Zhu Ming was actually the Arbiter General himself. So, the messenger from the Xianzhou Yao Qing must be the Merlin's Claw herself, I presume.
Vaya, vaya.
That's right.
Well, that's what makes this entire thing so unusual.
What's so unusual about it? They simply received an invitation from Jing Yuan, just like the crew, right?
The war dance is just a small festival. And now we have 2 Arbiter Generals from other Xianzhou ships here. I'm afraid they're here for something more. Maybe they've come to hold Jingyuan accountable for the Ambrosial Arbor crisis?
Hold him accountable? Come on, didn't the Luofu fall victim to the disciples of Sanctus Medicus and the Antimatter Legion? Why would they blame the victim?
Donshu's rebellion and Ventilia's scheming are merely one side of the story to the other Arbiter Generals of the Alliance. Only a single piece of incontrovertible evidence remains, creating an endless source of potential complications.
The Ambrosial Arbor.
Yes. It's undeniable that the plague mark, which was subdued by the Xianzhou Luofu, has resurfaced. But was it really a conspiracy instigated by the Antimatter Legion? Or does it indicate a traitorous intent from within the Luofu, implicating Jingyuan himself? Once the spark of suspicion is kindled, it proves hard to extinguish.
The
The General must have had that in mind when he invited us to attend the war dance.
What was I thinking? Seriously, here I was looking forward to a carefree and enjoyable trip.
Que sin drama no hay trama, si
Wherever we go, drama is just around the corner.
Aw, I was so excited. I thought those Arbiter Generals were just here to see the ceremony. By the way, I heard that an alchemist from the Zhuming diplomatic ship has arrived, and rumors say that she's to be the new Cauldron Master of the Alchemy Commission on the Luofu.
An alchemist from the Zhuming serving as the Cauldron Master on the Luofu? While it's not unheard of, the timing itself...
Thanks to your words, Mr. Danheng. Now I finally see the underlying tensions. The General is under tremendous pressure right now, but I was completely oblivious to his troubles. How naive of me.
Come on, don't think like that. Leave the adult matters to the adults. Even if you wanted to do something for the General, it's not like you can do anything. Did I say something wrong? Again?
Es una verdadera maestra de la conversación.
Miss March is right. I don't have the skills to share the General's burdens at the moment. Still, I'll do my best to follow his instructions. Let's go. Once I've taken you to your accommodations, I need to go to the Artisanship Commission to handle the IPC's protest.
He looks like he has a lot on his mind. We can't just let him go alone. Why don't we accompany you to the Artisanship Commission?
This is too much trouble. While I appreciate your kindness, dealing with the IPC's workers could be tricky. I'm afraid this will cause trouble for the Express.
No worries. We're pretty experienced in dealing with the IPC. You've heard of the 10 Stone Hearts? We've dealt with quite a few of them, right?
Desgraciadamente. Eres una verdadera maestra en la conversación.
Yeah, exactly. exactly. Are you being sarcastic?
Well, since you're willing to help, I won't decline your kindness. Let's head to the Artisanship Commission and meet them.
Buena.
Can I really reason with you Xianzhou people? I think I get it now. In your words, this is called looting a burning house, right?
Crear una casa en llamas, ¿qué dice?
But I am trying to reason with you here.
Es tú quien no quiere razonar con nosotros.
Ugh, that toxic voice sounds familiar. Haven't I heard it before in Arum Alley?
No, no me digas que es ese... No, ese tío.
You know what?
Oh.
This isn't my first time dealing with the Skyfaring Commission. I can handle your unreasonable ways.
Espera,
But
vamos a
straight up
presentarlo.
snatching IPC cargo, isn't that going a bit too far?
Just as I've said it many times already, once we've inspected the cargo and completed the security check, you can be on your way. Is there something wrong with your ears, or is it just your brain?
I'm hearing you loud and clear. I'm thinking clear. And my answer is crystal clear. Not a chance. Keep detaining my cargo and I'll file a complaint directly with your general.
Scott, ¿qué haces aquí?
I was going to ask you the same thing. Why do I keep running into you? You're staying on the Xianzhou, are you? What terrible luck. Wherever you go, disasters aren't far behind.
La verdad
Aren't
que
you the
sí.
guest from the Astral Express? What brings you and Yanqing to the Artisanship Commission?
Fin para ayudar a Yankee a resolver problemas que causaba.
Trouble caused by the IPC? I'd say it's caused by the Skyfaring Commission.
Looks like you've met this IPC worker before. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. I was sent here to deal with the IPC protest, Miss Shikue. What's going on here?
As you know, this IPC transport ship was attacked by the Borison and rescued by the Juming's diplomatic ship. Then the Cloud Knights were instructed to bring it back to the dock for repairs and inspections. And this is Mr. Scott, the person in charge of this transport ship.
So, you're Scott. I've heard him mention you. Weren't you kicked off the Lafu before? Why did you come back?
Like I wanted to come back. I thought I'd just dock at the harbor for repairs and leave this forsaken place for good. Little did I know, as soon as the ship entered the harbor, a bunch of Cloud Knights showed up and snatched all our cargo from the hold.
What do you mean by snatched? I've told you 1,000,000 times. It's a security check.
Then why did you bring the cargo to the Artisanship Commission? You even brought in some shady craftsmen. It's obvious you're trying to steal the IPC's patented technology!
Listen here. Firstly, the Skyfaring Commission detected dangerous items that could possibly be weapons in your cargo hold. That's why they called me here, to double-check. Secondly, where the heck did you get the idea that I'm a shady craftsman?
Even if there are dangerous items, what do they have to do with you? It's not even being shipped to the Lafu. We'll just fix the ship and be on our way. We won't unload our cargo here.
But you'll have to stay in the port for several days before your ship is repaired and you can take off again. How can we just leave unchecked items sitting here?
I understand, but we don't need to disassemble the cargo if it's just a security check, right?
In most cases, we don't. However, our scans discovered that the cargo doesn't only contain machinery, but also some substance that resembles biological tissue.
Biological tissue? Does this crate contain living things?
I'm afraid we'll need to wait for the Alchemy Commission for further confirmation. In any case, According to our regulations, we need to unseal one of the crates for further examination. But this IPC specialist has been hindering us on the grounds of patent secrecy.
The Alliance's regulations on biological products are very strict. Without further inspection, there is no way for the Skyfaring Commission to release the cargo.
Oh, really? Fine! If anyone lays a finger on that shipment, they'll have me to deal with. It doesn't matter if it's mechanical or biological. It's none of your business. I'm filing a complaint against the Skyfaring Commission's ridiculous regulations.
This Mr. Scott seems stubborn and difficult to persuade. Honestly, I really don't want to have a vicious confrontation with the IPC.
Qué pereza me da este hombre. Yo me encargo, soy muy bueno para negociar.
I heard how you helped R. O'Malley. The IPC representative back then was Mr. Scott, right? Since you've dealt with him before, it looks like I'll have to rely on you again.
What are you guys whispering about over there? Just hurry up and give us back our cargo.
Venga. Si tu contundencia es superior o igual a la del oponente, al terminar de negociar habrás tenido una negociación. Lo contrario, la negociación habrá fracasado. Okay. La contundencia de cualquiera de las partes llega a cero durante la negociación, esta termina inmediatamente. Las acciones de negociación producirán diferentes resultados, que pueden aumentar o disminuir la contundencia. La negociación avanzará a medida que eliges hasta que los turnos de negociación lleguen a cero, momento en el que concluirá la negociación. Durante el turno de negociación puedes usar estrategias de negociación para desplegar diferentes tácticas de negociación que te ayuden a tener éxito. Aquí puedes ver la información del oponente. Si no sabes qué elegir, haz clic para ver. Ahí, vale. A ver, comienza la negociación.
As I recall, this guy won't listen to reason and can only be persuaded with intimidation. But he does seem to follow rules to some extent.
Okay.
Let's use that against him.
Vale.
Speaking of regulations, we have our own laws and regulations too. According to Article 4 of the Cienjo Alliance IPC Trade Consensus, the Alliance and IPC shall never infringe on each other's intellectual property rights.
A ver, dar sugerencias según la ley.
The Alliance can sign a non-disclosure agreement with you. That way, you won't have to worry about any infringements, right?
Eso.
We can sign a mutually acceptable non-disclosure agreement in accordance with the IPC's rules.
Well, that makes sense, but how can we trust you to honor the terms? Even if we set aside the secrecy of intellectual property, these prototypes built by the Intelligentsia Guild are incredibly valuable, beyond your wildest imagination. If anything goes wrong, you won't be able to pay for it even with your lives.
La tercera parte de negociar es recurrir a la violencia confiable. Una conversación, claro que no. La Comisión de Transporte Celeste se encargará de pagar.
Don't underestimate Cienjo technology. Even if they need to dismantle your cargo, the Artisanship Commission can easily put it back together.
Yeah, go ahead and brag about their skills. After all, you're just a negotiator they hired. But I'm different. I'm an IPC member, and my fleet has accepted this transportation order. Naturally, I need to be responsible for the integrity of every piece of cargo. Besides, the cargo on this transport vessel belongs to the Intelligentsia Guild. If you want to inspect the cargo, shouldn't you at least call in a member of the Intelligentsia Guild to be present?
Puedo hacer eso.
I'm pretty tight with Dr. Ratio from the Intelligentsia Guild. Almost like family. Doesn't that make me practically a member of the Intelligence?
What's all this nonsense?
Eso no es así. No quería decir eso. En plan, podría llamar a esta persona para que lo hiciera. Claramente, puedes llamar al otro y ya está.
Because that's how the IPC and the Cienjo operate,
No es
right?
lo que quería decir,
As an
pero el juego
IPC
haciendo
worker,
cosas.
I have to abide by its regulations. If I make an exception and allow you to inspect the cargo, it'll spell disaster for me.
A ver, vamos a utilizar esto para manipulación emocional. Atacar al punto débil.
All right, we understand your position, but rules are rules and we can't bend them now. However, we'll note down your concerns and pass them on to management. We'll keep you updated on any developments.
Ala, qué feo todo. Qué feo caso. Pensaba que iba a ser útil.
Enough. I thought you were reasonable and civilized, but now it seems you Cienjo folks just don't understand the basics of business. We've signed a confidentiality and security agreement with the Intelligentsia Guild, and if we breach it, we'll have to pay a hefty sum. Even if we sold the souls of every employee in the marketing development department on this planet, it's... Listen up, kid. I don't mind delaying this transport for a few more days. Once the engines are repaired, our ship will leave immediately, and you won't have any reason to inspect the cargo.
If that's the case, I can assure you the Cloud Knights won't let your ship leave.
Oh, really? Then you'll receive a ton of complaints from the Intelligentsia Guild and the IPC's Marketing Development Department.
Since you put it that way, Mr. Scott, I'll take it as your agreement to the inspection procedure. Now...
Not so fast, you little brat. According to the IPC regulations, I have the right
Nos
to arm
vamos a liar a
myself and
hostias.
protect the...
I thought you were reasonable and civilized. But now, it seems the IPC just wants to play by its own rules. My apologies, Mr. Scott.
Stop him, guys! For the Amber Lord! For the Amber Lord!
Jolín, ya nos liamos a hostias. Pensaba que iba a ayudar en algo lo de la probacionista, pero no ha hecho absolutamente nada. Solo me ha quitado un turno. Vaya mierda.
I weep for the departed. It too shall
Bueno,
fall.
pues ya está. Continuamos. A dar hostias no me gana nadie. Prosigamos.
Get up, all of you! Why is the IPC even paying you? You're a bunch of losers!
Just be grateful that that little brat showed you mercy. At least your staff aren't seriously injured. How do you IPC cronies have the audacity to fight Cloud Knights?
Sí.
You practically assaulted law enforcement officers.
Another one? Who the heck are you?
I may be a bit late, but the good news is I'm here now. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Lingsha, Cauldron Master and head of the Alchemy Commission on the Lawfu.
Could she be?
Yeah, she's the new Cauldron Master assigned here from the Cienjo Juming.
Qué mona.
I received a report from the Artisanship Commission about cargo containing samples of unknown organisms. It said they needed help from the Alchemy Commission. I had nothing better to do, so I came myself.
Interesante.
It's fine, Mr. Scott. If you really don't want your cargo to be inspected, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter? How can you say that?
Why are you being so nice all of a sudden? Well, since you're not going to check it, I'll take this crate and be on my way. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah, sure. Why should I object? Not only this sample, but all the goods on the transport ship are yours to keep. Like I said, we won't inspect them.
Wait a minute!
Well, that's more like it. If only the young displayed a more reasonable attitude, we could have sidestepped that altercation just now. Our ship will leave in a few days once the engines are repaired.
Your ship can leave whenever you want, but I'm afraid I can't say the same for your cargo. According to the import and export regulations signed between the Cienjo and IPC, all biological shipments can only leave the port when they have confirmed to be of no threat, or when all biological activity expires.
Tiene sentido.
Since we can't determine if your shipment is safe for the environment, I guess we'll have to wait for its biological activity to expire. Let me check the previous cases. Normally, it'll only take around 47 star calendar years.
Jolín, 47 años. Wow.
Only Really? 47 years?
Claro, eso para una
Why so surprised?
especie de,
You're
de corta
still
vida.
young and full of energy. I'm pretty sure you'll live a few more decades. Have some confidence in
Ellos
yourself.
ven, claro, muchísimo más.
Ha! Typical of a long-life species. Your words are dripping with sarcasm. While you may not care about time, I do. I'll be demanding double compensation
Pero sí,
from the
no
Skyfaring
puedes
Commission
pedir una
for every
compensación.
minute wasted.
Señor, no puedes pedir una compensación cuando eres tú quien no
Sure
respeta
thing,
las
Mr.
normas.
Scott. You seem pretty confident that your career and life will last long enough to witness this victory unfold.
Step aside, guys. Let them do the inspection.
But, Mr. Scott...
Come on, we're already in enough trouble. Just let them do the security inspection. And if needed, I can always grovel before the Intelligentsia Guild later. I'm just using my head for what it's apparently good for, right? Well, honestly, at least you're not as annoying as that woman.
Ah, bueno.
You're still as annoying as ever.
Estamos.
This lady is really something else.
La verdad es que sí.
Is this the IPC product?
Listen up. Any damages caused by inspections will be filed with the IPC.
Uy. Va a atacar.
Turn it off.
Que nos está atacando. Nada, sí que era conflictivo, sí. Después de que un aliado esté afectado con miedo pertinaz, es posible disiparlo atacando una vez al lanzador del miedo pertinaz. Cuando el miedo pertinaz finaliza, si no se puede atacar al lanzador para disipar el miedo pertinaz, el aliado afectado entra en estado de aterrorizado y no puede actuar. Tiene sentido.
In the name of a will forged in ice, never falters.
Y empezamos.
Oh, how unexpected. That was a surprise.
Foretelling.
Ill fate descends.
Another journey begins on the still waters of oblivion. I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
This ends here.
Otra calle, por ahí. A mí me parece correcto.
Destiny isn't ill tidings manifest.
Nothing major.
Memories beneath the waters lies an endless abyss.
Let's settle this.
What do you want to know? Ill fate descends.
Esta taza.
I'll see you off.
Yeah.
Receive divinity.
You have my gratitude.
Free will or destined for oblivion.
No hay nada que temer. No te
Were you seriously planning to leave this stuff unchecked at the dock for days? That's way too dangerous.
Sí es.
I had no idea about it. You must have accidentally triggered the cargo's defense program.
I don't think trying to shift the blame is a wise choice.
Sí, yo tampoco lo creo.
But seriously, I don't know why that thing suddenly started moving. I swear on the Amber Lord.
Enough. Miss Shikwe, please escort our IPC guest to the Skyfaring Commission.
I'm on it. Please follow me, Mr. Scott.
Al final nos hemos acabado zurrando con todo y con todos.
Gentlemen, our preliminary inspection shows that there is indeed hidden biological tissues inside, just like the craftsman feared. I can't even tell if it's ingenium or biological in nature.
¿Me dices eso?
The core of this device is what they call wetware in industry slang. To put it simply, this machine operates with a kind of biological nerve as its control center.
I'll take some samples for the alchemist to analyze and figure out where the biological tissue comes from.
Why would the Intelligentsia Guild use such unethical technology? Perhaps they're trying to create a new weapon?
Whatever the reason is, it's probably why the Borison attacked the ship. No wonder the IPC were trying to obstruct our inspection. I'll contact the Ten Lords Commission and ask the judges to come and give their final verdict on this. According to our rules, all prisoners and weapons involving dangerous creatures must be taken to the shackling prison for further sentencing. After all, it's the safest place on the Luofu. As for you, Mr. Craftsman, please go with the Cloud Knights and explain the situation to the judge.
Después todos se dispersan y cada uno se va por.
I had a feeling that the IPC members would cause trouble, but I didn't think they'd be this tricky. Thanks for your help, Miss Linksha.
I should thank you for saving my life. Your sword skills were impressive. Taking down that big guy. I thought the General's retainers were all burly martial masters. I didn't expect Yenqing to be so...
¿Joven?
Yeah, exactly. He's young and talented. As for you, you must be the guests from the Astral Express, right? Saving the Luofu from that crisis. It's so impressive.
It wasn't a big deal. Really.
It's still early, so why don't we get some tea at the Alchemy Commission? We can discuss your suggestions for revitalizing the commission.
Dice que no fue gran cosa, pero sí era el único punto de la historia en el que yo me quedé estancado.
And you three are coming too, right?
¿Dónde era la señora esa? Madre mía.
The news is spreading pretty fast.
All these years, and the view at the Alchemy Commission hasn't changed a bit. The tides come and go, but the ancient sea remains the same. For us Vidyadhara, there's nothing more nostalgic than our homeland.
You're a Luofu native, Miss Lingsha?
Yes, I grew up here, listening to the sound of waves while researching prescriptions with my mentors and peers at the Alchemy Commission. It's kind of sad, isn't it? Everything changes, but somehow remains familiar. Just like you, Don Hung, I traveled far from home, and now I've returned. Seeing the familiar scenery brings back a hint of nostalgia.
The view here would be even better without the ambrosial arbor.
Oh, really? I think that towering tree looks pretty impressive.
Even if it's impressive, it's a plague mark. The Xianzhou have been fighting abominations for thousands of years. And now that the ambrosial arbor has been reborn, it's only natural for everyone to feel uneasy.
Well, once a seed is planted, no matter how long it takes, it'll eventually sprout and bear fruit. In my humble opinion, the rebirth of the ambrosial arbor and the resurgence of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus were inevitable. The seed was already planted when the ancestors of the Xianzhou sought immortality.
Porque de repente emocionas un tema tan serio.
My bad. Well, since you went through the entire ambrosial arbor crisis firsthand, Dan Heng and Lieutenant Yenqing, I'd like to discuss something with you.
What would you like to discuss, Miss Linksha?
I was lucky enough to be chosen by the Alliance to come in and clean up all the old grime in the Alchemy Commission. Honestly, the Alchemy Commission is riddled with problems and has reached a point where fixing it seems impossible. I'm looking to remedy this problem, but was wondering if you could provide any insights.
Well, even though I'm a Vidyadharan like you, I'm an outsider, just like my companions here. I can't really say much about a remedy, but I do have a piece of advice, Miss Lingsha. The Vidyadhara and the Alchemy Commission on the Luofu have always been intricately connected. If you cannot distance yourself from these ties, Miss Lingsha, changing the situation within the Alchemy Commission may be quite challenging.
I may not know about politics, but I do know that the disciples of Sanctus Medicus have been operating within the Alchemy Commission for years. If you're determined to root them out, maybe you should discuss it with the General.
I see. Thank you for your valuable insights. While the Lux Arrow from the Rainbow possesses unparalleled power to sever the Ambrosial Arbor, it can't sever mortals' desire to prolong their existence. Just like how the Cloud Knights can eliminate the remnants of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus, but are unable to calm the hearts and minds of the people within the Alchemy Commission. Our Xianzhou forebears knew this well, and that's why they entrusted the duty of guarding the roots of the Arbor to the Vidyadhara. However, the Vidyadhara are still only mortal beings. 30 years ago, my mentor served as Alchemy Commission's Cauldron Master. She recognized the emerging undercurrents and sought to cleanse the source of the disturbance. Unfortunately, even though she was skilled in the art of healing, she didn't understand the human heart or how to eliminate the sickness lurking within the depths of the Alchemy Commission. In the end, she was framed and exiled to the Juming. I was also implicated and had to leave the Luofu. And guess who arbitrated the case and handed down the sentence? None other than General Jing Yuan himself.
What?
You heard it right. The ones responsible for the corruption in the Alchemy Commission are not just the remnants of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus, but even the Divine Foresight himself. Alas, why is your face turning pale, Yanqing? Don't worry about it. I understand that when someone holds a position of power, they may sometimes have to make tough decisions. I won't hold any personal grudges against him. Besides, at our age, holding personal grudges is a luxury we can't afford.
Lingsha, you're back! Ugh, I've been waiting ages for you.
Yunli! Why aren't you with your grandpa? What brings you to the Alchemy Commission? Well, let me take this opportunity to introduce you to Yanqing.
What a small world. You stole my sword! Give it back!
I see. Let's skip the introduction part then.
Y creo que no necesitan presentación.
Why do I keep bumping into you? Are you
ver.
stalking me or something?
Viniste tú después.
Of course not. Unlike you, Miss Yunli, I have important things to take care of. You, on the other hand, seem to have all the time in the world to wander around without returning my sword.
Grandpa used to say that a sword reflects its master. I talked to your sword, and it told me that you've been distracted. You hesitate when you should strike, and you struggle to stay calm when your sword is unsheathed. Now that I see you again, I realize your sword was right. It wasn't me who took your sword. It was you who lost focus.
Jolín. dejando por los suelos.
You really expect me to believe that nonsense? I've been taking it easy on you because you're a guest from the Juming, but you're not taking the hint. Don't people from the Juming know you're supposed to return what you've borrowed?
Just look at this flying sword. Even if I gave it back to you now, it'd just be taken away again in a few hours. You know the Cloud Knight saying, a Cloud Knight must never let slip their weapon. Yes? Well, sure, I can give it back to you now, but on the battlefield, that's a whole different story. Poor flying sword.
Fine! You don't have to give it back, because I'll take it back myself!
Ah, bueno. Así suelen ser estas ceremonias de habilidades estelares de combate.
Between these two, who do you think is tougher, Dan Heng? Don't get me wrong. I'm just curious.
Get ready to separate them.
It is my first day at the Alchemy Commission. A brawl is definitely not how I imagined celebrating it. Well, since you don't approve, I won't draw my sword here.
Ah, bueno.
I didn't mean it in that way. Since you've already drawn your swords, you'd be disappointed if you didn't get to test one another, right? I've received reports that the delves near the Alchemy Commission are still infested with abominations. Seems like my predecessors left quite a mess. So, if you two want to determine who's better, why not focus on them instead of each other? Clearing out some abominations? Sounds boring.
It's the Cloud Knight's duty to eliminate those abominations. You don't have to ask me twice, Miss Lingsha. I'll help you get rid of them.
Oh, you think you're the only one who knows how to behave? If Lingsha needs anything, I'll gladly draw my sword and help her out.
Claro, lo dice antes de decir...
It's so heartwarming to see both of you being so sweet and caring. So then, shall we get going?
Tan dulces y afectuosos. ¡Vamos! A destrozar cosas. Ay, de verdad, madre mía.
Ever since the disciples of Sanctus Medicus were eradicated, their experimental abominations have been festering here. If you want a contest, I'll be the referee. The one who kills the most abominations within an hour wins.
Okay.
Lingsha, as always, you're still an expert in making unpaid work sound so noble and grand. It's for your own good, little Yunli. While you desire to compete against each other, I don't want to see either of you getting hurt.
That's really thoughtful of you, Cauldron Master.
So, are you both ready?
Venga, vamos. Ánimo.
Ugh. Looks like my predecessors left quite a mess. Let me say it again. The one who kills the most abominations. Be careful when you draw your swords, and make sure you don't hurt each other. Can we start now, Lingsha?
No me quites a... Pero no me quites a esta... Cisne negro. Tiene unos ataques para derrotar al enemigo. Este registró la cantidad de enemigos derrotados por el enemigo.
In the name of Lenda, a will forged in ice never falters.
Eternal The dead return!
Blade and flight!
Vale, perretes.
That's half the work. Destined for oblivion.
This ends here.
I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
I didn't expect someone who can't even hold on to his sword to actually have some skill.
¿Y eso?
How many can you block? Strike with heart!
Descend to earth!
Bueno, mato a 3. Llevo.
Is that all?
swordplay! Blade and flight!
That's half the work. On the still waters of oblivion.
This ends here. A will forged in ice never falters!
I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
Is that all?
Strike with heart! Practice is over.
Voy a atacar a este para ver si la mato.
Swords descend!
Lead through clouds!
Estamos ganando nosotros.
Destined for oblivion.
Eternal sleep. The dead return!
Tampoco es necesario poner el campito, la verdad, pero bueno.
A one-time enemy! Blade and flight!
Fuera.
Again?
You chose the wrong enemy.
You've got style with
Que
those
los mata
moves,
todos de un
but you're not
golpe.
striking
¿Cuándo se
where it
termina
counts.
esto?
It's such a shame to see you misuse your sword like that.
I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
Hope you're prepared.
How many can you block?
Ataquen allí.
Let's settle this.
In the name of Lend, a will forged in ice never falters!
That's half the work. Destined for oblivion.
Time for swordplay! Strike with heart! Practice is over. Swords descend!
¿Podré matarlo? No. Oh, sí.
This ends here.
Descend to earth!
¿Ves? Oye, no me parece justo. No me ha ganado.
I win, Miss Yunli!
Ah, ganamos. Perfecto.
You got lucky. Why don't you
Digas a
just
poco.
give me back my sword, sincerely apologize, and then go cry your eyes out to your grandpa?
Te estás pasando un poco.
Consider yourself lucky that I'm not interested in your rusty sword, as I don't have the nasty habit of snatching other people's weapons.
Yankee.
All you did was chop down a few monsters. Don't get carried away with yourself. If you think you can just take this sword from my hand, go ahead and try.
Un mandoble que sería más fuerte. La espada ligera, Pero bueno. Pero bueno.
Well fought, my young friends. However, both of
Bueno,
you
okay.
have shortcomings. One of you focuses on dodging and weaving, while the other relies on brute strength, trying to take down targets with a single strike.
Who are you?
Me? I'm just a patient seeking medicine from the Alchemy Commission. A passerby, if you will.
Estoy seguro de que a esta le encantaría.
I thought I'd see my fill of impressive fights during the war dance. Yet here I am, able to witness a remarkable fight at the Alchemy Commission, of all places. Well, the Lawfu is never short of surprises. However, I have a small suggestion for you. Why don't you settle this dispute fair and square in the war dance's ring? That way, you can resolve your differences with a proper duel and put your grudges behind you.
Grudges? No, not at all. Yunli and I, we were just sparring.
Sparring? You summoned your flying swords and she swung her sword with full strength. No grudges between you. I don't believe it.
Aha! What brings you here, Lady Fei Xiao? Have you finished your health consultation with the Dragon Lady?
Fei Xiao? Grandpa always talks about you. Could it be that you're...
The Merlin's Claw of the Xianzhou Yaoqing?
Looks like I'm quite famous on the Xianzhou Luofu, too.
Of course. Everyone has heard of the great general. Known to all, and unbeknown to none.
Great General? Isn't that title a bit too narcissistic? I don't like it. Ooh, I heard there's a dozing general on the Luofu, so I came up with a humble nickname for myself. The Lacking General. Lacking in worries, regrets, and rivals. Sounds much better, right?
Yeah, that's a befitting title that sounds both humble and impressive. Now that the sparring session is over, Yanqing and Yunli, shouldn't you politely thank General Fei Xiao for her guidance and bury the hatchet?
Here's your sword. Keep it safe. Or it might get taken away again. By the way, we haven't settled the score yet. I'll defeat you fair and square next time we fight.
This is how she apologizes? Now that I finally got my sword back, I should report to the seat of divine foresight. I'll take my leave, General Fei Xiao. Oh, by the way, Miss Linksha, if you've got some free time, I'd like to invite you to the seat of divine foresight for a chat with General Jingyuan. I think there's more to those personal grudges you mentioned earlier.
Thanks for stepping in, General Fei Xiao. Otherwise, I'd have had to knock them out with my incense.
Not at all. Just doing what you asked. How about we call it even as payment for the healer lady's consultation?
Sorry, but even a general needs to pay their bills. We don't do credit here. And let's not forget, you'd have been waiting decades for a chance to see the Dragon Lady if it weren't for me.
Well, you can always send the bill to the seat of divine foresight and say it's for mentoring those kids. After all, it was quite the effort splitting them up. I nearly had to get tough.
Casi tuve que usar la fuerza.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to find a spot and get some fresh air.
Fascinante. Casi tuvo que usar la fuerza. Orilla del mar. Se me fue el agua.
Back already? You've met with Jing Yuan and wandered around for a few hours. So, what do you think?
It appears that the Divine Foresight is using this war dance as a show of strength to convince everyone that the Luofu is prospering after the Ambrosial Arbor crisis.
But... I know you're going to say but, right?
But the influx of people attending the war dance is like a breeding ground for disorder and rumors. One wrong move, and the Luofu could be in a world of chaos.
The Cloud Knights on the streets remain vigilant, so at the very least, General Jing Yuan is aware of this. As for other matters, I'm unable to say.
I'd prefer to be excused from future meetings with generals. I'm just a military healer. And now all of a sudden I'm thrust onto the center stage having cordial chats with two generals?
My work doesn't lend itself to being in the limelight either.
Tiene que
Just
ser
stop whining. At
espía
least
o
you're
algo
in
así.
one piece, right? Before getting in touch with General Jing Yuan, I wanted to put aside my assumptions and see his momentum. That includes the overall bearing of the Cloud Knights on the street, what people are saying, and how those close to him behave.
The might of an army dwells not within its pawns, but within the force of its collective momentum. Recognizing this fact reveals the true measure of power. Thanks for enlightening me, General.
A perfectly clear statement turned confusing thanks to your translation. You've made me lose where I was now. Anyway, this is how I operate in battle, so you might as well get used to it.
Are you treating General Jingyuan as your enemy?
The longest-serving general of the Xianzhou Luofu. Do you think he'd have only a few enemies?
By the way, General, you met the healer lady, yes? Could you show me the medicine she prescribed you?
Well, the healer lady couldn't do anything about my condition. She just told me to enjoy some tasty food.
So not even the famed healer lady could help? Don't worry. I'll fulfill my promise and find a way to cure you. Actually, I've found some leads.
Well, life and death, Jiao Zhou. It's all predetermined. Upon starting my military career, I made a pledge that the rest of my life would be dedicated to being the Xianzhou spearhead, hunting down the abominations of abundance till the end of my days. As long as I can fulfill that deep-seated desire, I don't care how long I live. You asked if I view General Jing Yuan as my enemy. No. My real enemy has always been myself.
Enjoy some tasty food. So, what's for dinner tonight?
Jeez. You really know how to read the room, don't you?
You guys figure it out for yourselves. I'm due to catch up with an old war friend I've not seen for quite a long time.
Sí, lo es una santo.
Hey! Was that the Yaoqing general who just dropped in out of nowhere? Oh, she's so awesome! I mean, when Yun Li swung that massive sword, she just casually blocked her attack with ease.
Mine too.
Yeah. But to go up against Yun Li is quite impressive, you know? That aura of heroism and grace. It almost makes me want to learn Xianzhou swordplay. You think so too, right?
Sí, las técnicas de espada de Senzou son muy buenas, realmente buenas.
Can't you put a little more enthusiasm into it?
Thanks for the kind words, Miss March. The war dance is coming up, and I've been chosen to represent the Cloud Knights in the ceremony. I've had my fair share of defeats lately, and even though I know there are always more skilled swordmasters out there, seeing General Fei Xiao's skills today has made me feel a bit uneasy again.
Don't underestimate yourself. After all, generals won't fight in the ring during the war dance. Just remember the state of mind you had when you single-handedly took on me and Blade, putting life and death aside. With that mindset, you can prevail against most challengers.
I see. Thanks for the advice, Master Danheng. By the way, now that today's events are over, General Jing Yuan wants to invite all of you to the seat of divine foresight. He has something important to discuss.
Algo importante.
I bet it's about how to deal with the generals from the Yaoqing and the Juming.
I really don't want to get caught up in grown-up games so soon. I just hope Generals Fei Xiao and Huaiyan can see the truth. We don't need any more chaos on the Luofu before the war dance.
Ya bien. Bueno, pues no. Creo que lo vamos a ir dejando por ahí. Vamos a pedir. ¿Puedes ir al antes? Sí, esperamos. Nosotros simplemente que a veces hay también que ser duro. Usa la fuerza física para convencer al especialista de la corporación. Vaya. Abrir un cofre es como abrir un ataúd. Derrota la mercancía de la corporación. Ataúd. Ok. Esto disipa el estado de locura lunar de todos los enemigos antes de que termine la cuenta regresiva de locura lunar. Tiene sentido. Esta batalla elimina todos los estados de miedo pertinentes de un aliado aplicados por el ataúd aullante. Vale, perfecto. Sí, para abajo, no sé por qué. Vale, ya hemos pillado todos estos. Vamos a ver. ¿Qué haces para hacer una tiradilla? Que creo que no me va a dar. Me pone nervioso que esto está. A ver, creo que no me va a dar, ¿verdad? Ah, por uno. Lástima. Por uno. Bueno, pues el próximo día a lo mejor sí que podemos hacer una tiradilla. Dicho esto, vamos a ir dejando, ¿vale? Gracias a todos por acompañarme el día de hoy. Y nos veremos mañana. Con Coffee, supongo, porque será viernes de Coffee. Y a ver si terminamos Control de una vez por todas. Adiós.